steering wheel's got to come out because quick release has to go on, and well, we have to put the dashboard in now with the cooler, or the heater core, and ventilation, because you never know, it might rain and you might need to be able to see where you're going. This was just a test fit to make sure that it all will work when the time comes. So I don't come to the workshop all that often, and when I do, I like to contribute. I don't just like to be a fly on the wall. So this time around, I actually brought a piece of one of my old race cars. That was my contribution. It's a steering wheel boss. These things are kind of hard to come by at the moment because, well, global supply chain issues. Very difficult to find a steering boss for a 40-year-old Toyota Corolla. So it actually worked. It fitted, and yeah, now we've got something that a new racing steering wheel can be attached to.
I've got some monumental tasks that I want to accomplish, and I haven't given myself a lot of time to do it. I've got things like fabricating a battery bracket. I've actually asked Lawrence, well, he volunteered to actually come along today, so he's going to join, and he's got some great fabrication skills, hoping he can knock that out. I want to tackle getting that dashboard in because it's one of those next steps that a lot of things hinge around. If I can get that dashboard in, at least trimmed up, then we can start wiring, we can start getting switches in, we can get clusters in. Pressure is on. I'd love to get the windows back in, and I'd love to have door cards fabricated, but we're only sitting with about 3 hours. It is a weeknight.
Here we are on an archaeological dig with one look off.
Feels like an archaeological dig. I'm pretty sure this has never been cleaned, and this is 39 years of dust and crud. But this is the most important part of the car. This is the windscreen ducting, and what we'll need if it starts raining. It's been so long since I pulled this dashboard that I actually don't even know how it goes back together. I'm racking my brain, and it's a bit of a puzzle, and there are so many little pieces. I think the biggest challenge is finding all the fasteners. I'm pretty sure I put them in a tub, but can't be sure.
So despite being told that it's good enough, I have a perfectionist streak, and yeah, trying to get it just right.
So I've arrived, but Chad and Lawrence have already been here for about an hour, and I'm on the back foot, so I feel like I need to jump in and make some progress.
I don't recall how I did this. Oh, that went there. I remember now. So that then is in fact the route.
Put it in the hole, Ray.
Now that's the route.
It's so frustrating. I had this in here. It's been done, well, twice now. Where I've put it in, I've had to take it out, I've painted the bay. I'm happy with the work that we've done, and we had to remove it to do it. But now I've got to try and figure out how to put it back so that it lines back up again when the motor goes back. It's hard to wire when the parts are not there to wire to.
Taping off the black back masking for the polycarb windows. My man Ray very, very kindly painted the interior of the car, as well as the sills that were treated with rust converter, and now we just need to make black again, but try and make it look neat at least. So I'm masking it up perfectly because when Raymond wants to come and paint, I want to make sure that no black gets on that brand new pearly white.
When we had the windows in the first time, Migs attempted a black border. It looked really nice. I didn't like what was behind it though, because the car wasn't prepped. So the windows looked like they were in there, but it was half-assed with some cream behind it, and there was no way I was going to be able to paint that. It was going to look ugly all the time. So this time with the windows out, I wanted to do a decent black border, make sure that we masked it. Well, Lon did a good job of masking it, but you know, just make sure that we did a nice finish around the edge to make it look smart.
Gotta admit it, that looks pretty good.
Trying to remember how I had this in here. The problem is if I put it back now and it's not exactly the way that I took it out, it's not going to reach the alternator and the starter, and then that might be an issue.
I, for one, am tired of issues.
Oh yes. Just don't pinch it when you do put it back. Don't. If it's going to pinch it excessively, let me know, because I don't want it to tear through the insulation.
So I know these guys say safety third, but I like my eyes, thank you very much. Got to trim the side of the rivets off so that they'll actually fit. Well, one of the things that I really wanted to get done today was getting the windows back in again with the new painted borders. And yeah, we're definitely going to make sure that the rear quarters are in before I go home.
Sorry, Chad. Had to come out.
Chad's just put this in. He's gone and cut out notches around the wires. He's made sure that it fits properly, and it was a bit of a mission to get in there. He's going to kill me. I've got to take it out because I need to get behind it.
How the fuck did you do this?
I said earlier that I was going to have trouble finding fasteners for everything. I managed to get the blower in on half its fasteners, and then this guy goes and strips it after I've already modified it to accept his cables, and he does that because he can't get his fat hands through the hole for the vents to tighten up the nuts on the kill switch. Had he just asked, I would have gotten these little things in there and done it for him.
And actually, because we've got a roll cage in there, the dash that comes down right by the A-pillar, dashboard's not going to fit. It doesn't take up in like the entire, 57mm area, but at least like half of it. So I need to lose the side of the dash, but the problem is that's where a lot of the mounting points are, so I have to kind of work around that. I'm going to try and retain as much of it as possible, but hey, let's take an angle grinder to plastic. I mean, what could go wrong?
I'm really just eyeballing this dash. I've got a vague idea of what is needed to clear the roll cage, so I'm hoping that it goes in. And once again, I can't find the fasteners. Where are they? All these nuts and bolts have just disappeared. We haven't planned this properly, and we didn't think this through.
How these guys have still got all 10 fingers is beyond me.
Yeah, there we go.
Snap! Crackle, pop.
On the paintwork. Oh, this was an eyeball attempt. Let's see if we can get everything around. We need it. Shh. Root. This could be entertaining. Not going to lie, especially with a gear lever in my, or a handbrake lever in my Nort. Okay, let's come in that side first, strong. Okay, no, that gauge drops. I need to trim a little more this side. Trying to leave as much meat on it as possible, so that it's got a little bit of integrity, but eepers. Knowing how much of what in a 3D space ain't easy.
Okay, screw the fasteners. We're going with cable ties. Because race car.
3 for the back here.
Oh, you want to give it a couple more normal ones? On my paintwork.
With my dirty boots.
Okay.
So I cannot believe how much better this side fits than the other side. You can see just from this how the second time around was perfectly done.
Trying to remember where all of these bloody cables go is easier said than done.
Managed to get the blower and the heater core back in. Even though we pulled the heater core, I'm not able to connect up all the cables, so not all the controls work. This is going to drive Raymond nutty if he knows that there's no difference between hot and cold, because right now it's just blowing air. But I'm not going to tell him it's just the way that it's going to be. Sometimes well enough has to do, and in this case, this is well enough.
I don't think, well, seeing as we pulled the heater core, I don't really need to worry about heat versus cold. It's only ever going to blow cold. Because, yeah, heater core is out. But the dash is slowly but surely going back in, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, well done. I didn't think you'd get it in that quickly. Well done.
You're like a jukebox, baby, different song every day. I'm spending all my money just so I can...
It's a Saturday and it's month end, so the guys are all busy, but I've managed to free up a few hours and I'm going to head into the workshop because it really is stressing me out. I've got a couple of things that I want to do and I'm hoping that I can just make a little progress, even if it is on my own.
Made good progress during the week, but got to get this window here. Modify that cat flap a little bit. And then see what can be done about these pedals. This is definitely not the easiest task to tackle on your own.
It's actually rather amazing how much work you can actually get done when you're left to your own devices, when you don't have all the distractions and the joking on going around. I think we get a lot more done if we just actually focused.
I wanted to make a pedal for this. Like the plastic's okay, but it's a little far away from the brake pedal and makes heel-toe driving a little difficult. So I'm going to take a piece of 2-3 more plate here and just try and craft another pedal that I'll bolt to it and then just treat that and coat that with whatever's needed. I think we need a basic shape for it, so let's do some CAD here, some cardboard aided design. So that's not bad, but that's still a lot of ankle actuation. Ideally, you'd like to be able to just roll your foot. I actually like that whole pedal to come over. I think I should bend that.
Ergonomics, for some reason unbeknownst to me, has always been really important in what I look for in a car. It's one of the things that I really focus on. So I've wanted to apply a little bit of my knowledge and my expertise around ergonomics and my experience into this race car, and I'm hoping that the guys will appreciate it.
Bent the pedal a little straighter, a little closer, but I'm still going to extend this template a little bit. Just really get a little bit of extra meat on this pedal. I want to make it the most comfortable, ergonomically friendly drive I possibly can. You're sitting and you're building your own car, or at least borrowing a little bit from another manufacturer. You can sort of start tinkering and building it in a way that you feel fit, and yeah, my line of work sees me drive many cars and see what works and doesn't work, and that's kind of cool. It works to my advantage, and having driven a few race cars, there's been a few instances where I've liked what they've done in their builds, and I'm trying to remember all of that and use it here. I also understand the pains of endurance racing, and that's not always the same as sprint racing, despite the fact that we're going to be doing a bit of sprint racing with this car as well. That's not too bad. I actually quite like that. So that's now nicely extended by about another inch. Chuck it in, test fit it, and see how it feels in the seat. So fair enough, a lot of this was eyeballed, but I have good faith and good trust. Gordon Murray's going to measure stuff. I mean, Gordon Murray's not building a Lemons race car, is he? Although I'd be keen to see what he could do if he did. Okay. That is spot on. I drive fairly bow-legged, so I catch the side of the brake, which makes that fine. That's just a foot roll, that's not even heel toe. I mean, that's great, it's really close there. And although in racing shoes, I mean, because these have got a bit of a sole on them, the thing is, if the guys are not catching that pedal, if they're over a little bit on this pedal and they go down, they are inherently going to catch that throttle under hard braking. So you really need to be... Actually, I like that. I think that's fine. Okay, scrap what I said, because I know that the guys are going to bitch and moan about this pedal placement. And you know what? Tough. They can work around it. They can just learn to drive the car the way that it is. I think it is great, and even in execution, I think it's going to be absolutely brilliant. The next thing I'm wanting to do is actually put some of this staircase grip tape on it. Yeah, that should make it properly, well, grippy for the race shoes, and in case your shoes get wet, which, I mean, the interior of this car is going to get wet, especially if it rains. Now, I'm really hoping that this is the super grippy kind. I'll also leave it to cure for a while. And this gets a whole bunch of foot traffic, so I'm pretty sure when it sticks, it sticks. Oh, it's really rubbery, that's great.
it's super grippy. I just want to clean up the edges.
Doesn't look too bad if I do say so myself. Get it back in the car. And that wraps a pretty successful day in the workshop, even if I do say so myself. I managed to get done what I wanted to get done for the most part, crafting the pedal, getting the window in, even test fitting the seat and fiddling with the harnesses a little bit. So it really is coming together. There's still a long way to go. We're waiting to hear what the engineer has to say about that engine block. It's gone off to them. We're hoping that we can salvage as much of it as possible. And then of course it's brakes and suspension time. After that, this car is nearly ready to rock and roll. Oh, wait, okay. Raymond still has to do the wiring. There's that.